Yeah, mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. I don't really feel like freestyling right now because the world is wilding now. So I guess it's time for me to pop out, kind of like what Kendrick did back in LA. I'm about to go ahead and just cause a melee. What the hell is going on in this world? You can't really trust nobody, not even your own girl. I mean your homegirl will set you up, wet you up. Everybody's looking to clap you up, and I don't even know what's going on up in this trial. Right now we got a cat in denial. How the hell you go up on the stand and kind of go ahead and clap your man? You go up on the stand trying to brag about what you did, and all of a sudden now you trying to hide. I must provide the details and get into it. Right now, let's go ahead and just speak on it. I'm too upset to freestyle, man.
What's up, my brother?
What's up, man? What's up, world? How you doing? Right now we're taking a break. Well, we're not necessarily taking a break. We're deviating from our normal schedule. Normally, we pop out on Fridays, but there's too much going on today in the hip hop world today.
Today.
First and foremost, we're gonna go ahead and shout out ASAP Rocky. He got found not guilty. When they said that they had a verdict and they came back with less than 3 hours, I already knew he was not guilty.
Right. Shouts out to that brother, man. I mean, I don't know let me not say that because there are some people I want to see go to jail, but majority of the time. You know what I'm saying? Majority of the time with these frivolous lawsuits and money grabs, man, that be going on, it make it hard to decipher. So I always wait till the end. I try to, outside of the show, we gotta talk about it on the show.
Right. We have to.
Nah, but shouts out to him, man, and Rihanna, man. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. They dropped the lawsuit on Jay-Z too.
They dropped the lawsuit on Jay-Z.
We knew that was going to happen.
I didn't understand why it was going. Again, it just didn't make sense. The father came out like, I don't remember that. I don't remember what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the events just didn't really add up, and I'm like, really, they're really gonna continue with this? Like, she was in the club at 13. You know what I'm saying? And she went from down south all the way to New York. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make sense. I didn't understand it.
It was crazy, man. It was crazy, but it is what it is.
Then Jay-Z turned around and countersues the lawyer, which as he should, because it's like
absolutely.
Because once you put someone's name in the court of public opinion and you drag them, now you got people, talking trash about Jay-Z, his daughter, his wife, all this other stuff. And it was just a bogus lawsuit. It was a money grab. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the one thing I will say about. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say people don't care guilty or not, man. Once they throw it out there, boy, it kind of just stick to you.
Nothing is more entertaining than the lie. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth comes out and no one really cares. You don't see it publicized or broadcasted everywhere. And, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, the Shade Room put it out there. You know what I'm saying? You can always look to them.
I guess you could always depend on them. Shout out to the Shade Room.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? We need a spot in there. You know what I'm saying? We need some promotion to drop 3 cents on the Shade Room.
We do. Shade Room, if you're watching, hey, we love you over here. We with the culture. You know what I'm saying? We what the culture is needing right now. Matter of fact, the reason why we're doing this show is because, last Friday's show, shout out to everybody who tuned in, all the rebroadcasters on Facebook, on YouTube. Superb. You guys have tuned in. We've been getting good feedback saying the show is great. We talked about discovering our root, family trees, ancestry, all types of good stuff. And so it was such a positive show that we were going to continue it on Friday. That's why I'm trying to get kind of like the debauchery out the way right now so we can just have another positive note for next Friday.
Is that what this is?
It kind of is. It kind of is. You know what I'm saying?
The precursor to get all the ratchetness out the way so you get right back to it.
Just a little bit, because Man, yeah, I gotta speak my mind, y'all. Sorry, there's no ratchet news. There's no third word for the well, there's a third word for the day. Ash hole. You know what I mean? Like dumbass of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like dumbass of the century. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so as you can see, as you can see in the bottom right in the bottom corner right here, Keefe D. Davis has been sitting in jail for nearly over a year in relations to the Tupac murder trial. He was not the alleged shooter, supposedly, but he was the alleged shot caller. And everything I gotta say is alleged because he's still sitting in court and he has his due process. But the dude's a dummy. First off, because if we need to go ahead and give you guys a little backstory, right? I think around like 2008, 2013, there was an LAPD officer named Greg Kading who came out with a book called Murder Rap. And in that book, he had the alleged confession of Keefe Dwayne Davis. Now, what Keefe is alleging that he did not know was that he did not know that he was being taped. But essentially, how they got him jammed up was that they caught him on some drug-related charges for PCP, and they said, "Hey, if you want to get out of this, tell us what you know about the Biggie murder," because there was rumors going on that Southside Crips had something to do with Biggie's murder. And so he said, him out of his own mouth, like, well, that wasn't us. I can't tell you about that. And so they asked for more. So what are you talking about? Well, I can tell you about the other one in Vegas. And so, he proceeds to tell them what went down in Vegas. So I think Greg Kading tried to take this to his superiors. They tried to get some type of conviction, but they couldn't. So, but he had a proffer agreement. Like I guess essentially what's called a queen for a day or queen for a day or something. Would you know what it is, Quest? Queens for a day. Well, it's essentially like a deal to where, hey, if you confess to this crime or you confess to something, or if you tell us the truth, I guess the details is if you are actually truthful about what you're getting ready to tell, then they cannot be used against you in the court of law. They can't come back and prosecute you for it, or whatever. But it had, but
I don't
you have to be
on nobody, so I don't know
right.
What they call that shit.
Right. But in order for it to work, you have to be truthful. So he proceeds to tell the events of what happened in Vegas that night, saying that, my nephew got beat up. And I'm just paraphrasing a bit. My nephew got beat up. We went looking for him at Club 662, and we didn't see him, so we pulled off. And then I wanted to get out the car because there were some busters in there, blah blah blah. So he named the people that were in the car. And then so he said they pulled up on them. They seen Tupac's caravan going down the strip. And some girls were yelling out, "Tupac, Tupac." So they knew how to find them. So they crept around, they busted a Huey or something like that, pulled up alongside of them. And then that's when, history was made, saying that night. And he pretty much detailed everything. So once he seen that Greg Kading, well, I guess Greg Kading wound up leaving the LAPD. Nothing came of it. This dude was cocky enough to say, hey, well, he's making money off of it. So he then decides to write a book called Compton Street Legend, where he again details the actual murder and of what happened to Tupac Shakur. Then, not only that, then he goes on to these podcasts. Shout out to the Art of Dialogue. Cool dude. I was there when he was in the beginning stages, like a fan, and I've seen he's everywhere, literally everywhere. He goes to Art of Dialogue. He goes to Vlad. He goes to Cam Capone. He goes to all these outlets telling essentially the same story. The same story. Mind you, he's doing it some 20-some years later. He's living in Henderson, Nevada, Las Vegas. He's living in Las Vegas. So Las Vegas all this time was just letting them. Oh, he also goes on BET Chronicles. BT. And he tells his story again, the same type of story again. Matter of fact, he was quoted as saying, like, when he saw the car being shot up, Tupac would look like he was breakdancing and he was proceeding to, do little things like that. You know what I'm saying? He was bragging about it. So it caught up to him. And Las Vegas PD wound up, arresting him. He got indicted for the grand indictment. And he's been sitting in jail for over a year now waiting trial. He couldn't afford a lawyer at one point, so he had a public defender. For whatever reason, there's this cat out there, Carl Arnold. He's a lawyer. He decides to, I guess he wants his OJ moment, saying he wants to, any publicity is good publicity for a lawyer like that. So he decides to take on the case. Now, mind you, it's been crappy from all along. They come up with little BS theories. Now he's saying that he's lying. He made it all up just to make money and blah 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 blah. And here we are today, where he's I don't know, man. Here we are today. There's Here we are today. That's all I can say. Man, Quez, drop your 3 cents real quick, man.
Hey man, it's different when they put that L on there. You know what I mean? Everybody a gangster till they hit you with that L.
Right, right.
And then you see the true character of a man. That's what this seemed like. I mean, it was fun telling the story, getting the bag, all that, which you should know. There is no statutes of limitations on murder, so
right.
That's a forever thing. You should probably shut the hell up and go on about your business. Maybe you could write that book on your deathbed or something, leave some money to your kids. But you know what I mean? I don't think I'd be going on a speaking tour about the shit. You know, even with a deal, shoot, you make a deal with the devil, man. He usually come back and grab all the benefits, man, and you end up burning in the end. So,
right.
I don't care what kind of deal they gave you. I would have shut the hell up forever.
Yep.
Whatever that man got coming, he got coming, man. Especially you talk about the way a man was pop locking after getting shot and shit. That was crazy. I seen that. That was wild. So
right.
Whatever you got coming, bro, you got to stand on it now.
This dude literally said that, he seen, I saw the bullet going Suge's head. I thought he was dead. You know what I'm saying? Like he did not know that he was being taped, and he was over here singing like la 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 la. He was singing like Mariah Carey in the key of A minor. You know what I'm saying? He was singing, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't know that he was being recorded. So, here we are, man. And the thing I'm going to say about this is we have a lot of these so-called documentaries coming out, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I was kind of a part of like 2 of them, you know what I'm saying, like 2 or 3, as kind of like a music consultant, a Tupac consultant, because I'm a Tupac fan, you know what I'm saying? Like, me of all people, I definitely want to see justice for Tupac, because I think how he went out was lame. And I get it. We're from California, so we understand, the gang culture. You know what I'm saying? He's from the Bay, by way of Baltimore, New York. I don't think he understood LA politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, LA politics is still something that we all still figuring out on a daily, but we know not to do certain things and how to maneuver, how to survive. You don't go stomping out somebody, especially a reputable shooter, and not expect some type of get back. But I don't think that he knew. I think that he was just trying to be loyal to, people who he felt were loyal to him, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, Suge should have did a little bit better by trying to keep his asset, his multi-million-dollar asset, because I mean, Tupac was responsible for bringing Death Row back to what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dre had left. Thanks. Snoop was on trial for murder. Tupac comes. He drops All Eyes on Me, which eventually goes 10 times platinum, diamond. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tupac made Death Row hot. As a matter of fact, to this date, All Eyes on Me is the best-selling album on Death Row Records that ever put out. And that's just by the numbers. As a matter of fact, I take that back. There's two Tupac projects. It's All Eyes on Me and The Greatest Hits. They both went diamond. So, you know what I mean? So you do all this, you protect your asset. You don't let him go rolling in the mud with trash. That's what you got goons for. And he had goons there. You know what I mean? But Pac was trying to be loyal. And then, but to play advocate a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but me and Quez are from California. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get your ass beat, you get your ass beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really got hands and you really about that, you about to go see them, like, go shoot me a fair one. Shoot me a fair one. It's always the busters who go grab the guns, you know what I'm saying, because they can't fight or because their pride is hurt, their ego is hurt. You know what I'm saying? And those are the cats that want to grab the guns. You know what I'm saying? So if that were the case, then Orlando got, he RIP, we still don't know. Allegedly, what Suge has said today, I heard, was that, Orlando was not the shooter. So there was somebody else in that car who shot Pac. But hey, we didn't go see Tupac. If you got squabbles and squabble up, beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? But you take this man's life. You know what I'm saying? And whatever happens, karma came back around, and all the cats that were in that car are gone.
That's just what it is, man.
Except for Keefe. He's the last man standing. And supposedly, allegedly, he was the shot caller. He's the one that handed the pistol to, by his words, he said he handed it to Orlando. First, he tried to hand it to another cat who refused it. So he said Orlando took the gat and sprayed. But I think, me personally, I believe that he was saying Orlando because Orlando was deceased. You can't arrest a dead man. You know what I'm saying? So, so whoever it was, I think was maybe alive at that time to where he didn't want to talk about it. And as a matter of fact, when that name was brought up, DeAndre Brown, that he brought it up. When the Art of Dialogue or anybody else would ask him about it, he would get angry, like, "Oh, you trying to get me shit to jail?" So I think he essentially was telling, it should put it like this. He said, "Look, Orlando Anderson, turned around and tried to sue the Tupac estate, and then Tupac's estate turned around and tried to sue him. We went to go settle with him, and the lawyer came to me. I was in jail, but the lawyer came to me and was like, "This is what we're going to do." So why would I sit up there and offer this dude money or some if he was responsible for shooting at me and Tupac? So he's saying I'm telling you that he was not the shooter. So this is what Suge said, but we know. I don't know. You never really know what to believe from Suge.
Hey man, the fact that you out here talking about y'all trying to get me sent to jail or you on a speaking tour about one of the most notable murders in my time frame. You know what I'm saying? In my lifetime, that affected so many people is crazy. But also, for that to be a known fact that this man was out here telling, because a lot of people pass around that snitch word, but snitching don't involve civilians, right? But when you choose a certain lifestyle, man, and you get to telling on people, that's different. Especially when you're involved, and then you saying people's names and whether they dead or not. You know what I'm saying? That's against the code of ethics, sir. And you should know that being a shot caller or whoever you want to portray yourself to be. But you can't cry foul when it finally catch up to you, and now you facing that 25 because you've been free all this time hooping and hollering about you the big bad wolf and you know who did what and can't nobody touch you, and now you got touched. So,
you're right. I think his arrogance caught up to him. You know what I'm saying? He, like you said, he was thinking like, oh, well, I got immunity. He literally thought, and I think he said as much in these trials, but he thought that he had immunity, so, he thought that he was safe. He thought that he was free, and he went bragging. I mean, he went essentially bragging about it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Art of Dialogue interviews are still up. Vlad TV interviews are still up where he's essentially talking about it. He wrote a book called Compton Street Legends. So I think they waited. We still don't know what Las Vegas has as far as like the prosecutors. We still know all the evidence. He's now trying to say that he was not in Vegas. He was trying to say he wasn't in Vegas at all. Now the lawyers also trying to turn around and trying to say that Tupac did not die from the gunshot wounds, essentially because he died 6 days later. They tried to say it was like cardiac arrest, but it was due to him being shot. He had to lose. He lost a lung. So I don't know where his lawyer got his degree from, or the shit that he's trying to throw up on the walls to make stick is kind of crazy to me. He's starting to seem as intelligent as Keefe D. Davis himself. You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy. Nah, he died 6 days later. It wasn't from them bullets.
Right. It was he caught pneumonia on his deathbed. But
why?
You know what I mean? Like I made that up. You know what I mean? But to be fair, so now what he's trying to do to get this delayed for the delay, because now he was supposed to go to trial on March 17th. Actually, it was supposed to be sometime in November. Like November 3rd or 4th, and that got pushed back to like March. Now it's going to be pushed back to February 6, 2026. And, I talked to somebody who actually knew Tupac and is watching it closely. And he remains anonymous, but they've asked him this question, like, what do you think about the new developments where Keefe D is now trying to allege that Reggie Wright Jr., who is the head of Right Way Security, that was supposed to be guarding Tupac and Suge that night, they're trying to say that he has some type of involvement in it, and that he was the orchestrator and blah blah blah. So my thing is, this cat Keefe. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, he actually said that Puffy was actually behind the hit. Allegedly, he offered him $1 million to take care of the problem that he had out west, which was Suge and Pac. And so he alleged that, saying, and supposedly there was $1 million check that was cut. He just never got the check. It was interceded by somebody else who then opened up a nightclub, supposedly, allegedly. But it went from Puffy to now it's Reggie Wright's the orchestrator. And Reggie Wright Jr. He's on here. He might hear it. I'm gonna try to reach out to him and see if he wants to talk. But he's been on Art of Dialogue, he's been on Vlad, he's been on these other platforms and podcasts. But I don't think that he had anything to do with it. I knew Frank Alexander, who was Tupac's bodyguard. I met him through R.J. Bond, who was the producer of Tupac Assassination 1, 2. Then he made other documentaries and stuff, and we're gonna get on that. I got mad love for R.J., but I disagree with some of his theories, and we're about to get on that. But so I met him. I met Frank Alexander through RJ, and he's told me some things. RJ has been like an investigator in this thing too. So the one thing that I could say that about Frank, when I talked with him, he actually had regret about that night. He felt like he should have just kept his gun on him, or if only he had his gun. I think he lived with that guilt for so long, and essentially, he wound up, unaliving himself, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. He was only equipped to do what he was equipped to do. There was definitely some lacking on the security company part, and Reggie Wright has gone so forth as to say as much. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, like well, there are some things I could have done differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so he's not necessarily responsible, but he feels like he had played, he felt some responsibility toward it because it was his security company.
Right. So, I mean, which is understood, what I mean? Right. But there's always unforeseeable circumstances. You know what I mean? What more could you have done? Bought a bulletproof car. You was going to hang on the guardrail like the Secret Service or something outside the car. I mean, what? It's not very, very much you as a security detail could do to somebody of that magnitude who's going to do what they want to do any damn way.
Right.
Which is essentially how Tupac lived his life, man.
That's how he lived his life. I mean, everything from down to like the last minute, like they weren't allowed to necessarily have their guns on them unless I forget what the circumstances or the verbiage was for that. But Frank wound up actually carrying his gun. He had his gun in his glove department in his car. But last minute, Tupac said, here, take Kadada, which is Kadada Jones is the daughter of Quincy Jones. Take Kadada's car, roll with the little homies, roll behind me and Suge. I'm going to ride with Suge. And, so Tupac got in the car and rolled with Suge. Now, mind you, I don't know if Suge had any straps. Keefe alleged that, Tupac looked like he was grabbing for something, which is why they lit him up. This is what he said, but we still don't know. But, but yeah, so Frank didn't have time to go get his car. He didn't have time to go get his gun. He had to hop into the car and go with them because it was a caravan. They rolled out, so it was just one of those things where he just didn't have no heat on him. And it's just sad, what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, they got caught lacking. Reggie Wright Jr., who was supposed to be Suge's detail, was actually at Club 662 setting up. So the extra security that was actually supposed to be on Tupac, he didn't come that day. But there was supposed to be another security that was supposed to be on Tupac, and this was the guy who actually had his gun, but he stayed with Reggie at the club. So this is all the stuff that I'm getting just, from the from the investigation that I've heard so far. And
Oh,
you know what I mean? So it's just it's kind of just it's circumstantial. But again, Reggie's on here. I'll try to reach out to him, see if he wants to sit down and he can give his 3 cents, what I'm saying, and he's really accessible. He's really accessible. And I think he definitely needs to have his say. But
yeah, I think that'd be dope, though. You know what I'm saying? To get his perspective. Um, all perspectives are needed, man. Outside of that, all we're doing is making assumptions
right.
on what the truth is based on our levels of understanding from the information we have. But even with that, they're still, when it comes back down to Keefe D, bro, you set yourself up. You know, well, I don't think we'll ever really know who did what, to be completely honest, because
True.
now
True.
now that man's name is mud. You know what I'm saying? So even if he says he's telling the truth now in the trial, we can't take it for that because for so many years you've been saying this.
Right.
So all it's doing is muddying the waters even further because you the last one left, and we gotta put all the eggs in that basket. Nobody else gonna go to trial. Nobody else, unless Diddy come out. But Diddy don't know who shot him either. Allegedly, Diddy. But you know what I mean. What truth you gonna get from him? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? He said he didn't buy the baby oil, so we don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, there's a whole Costco warehouse.
Meanwhile,
You know what I'm saying? A whole Costco warehouse of baby oil at your house.
Meanwhile, he said, I didn't hit her. I didn't do anything. Next, we seeing videos on the news and, he DDTing, body
Right.
slamming women and whatnot,
Boy,
just
Hulk
it's
Hogan's
crazy.
leg dropped and shit. You know what I'm saying? Can't trust none of these cats, man.
Throwing objects and stuff at, at a woman, for a helpless, defenseless woman. You know what I mean? Like,
and just let me throw my tinfoil kufi on because for it to have taken this long means that somebody inside these police departments knows exactly what happened, and just as well as with our brother Nipsey, you know what I'm saying. I'm getting a strong hint of police involvement. You know what I mean? I think there's some police involvement in both of these situations because there's no way in hell that y'all waited 25 years to try to gather this round, and all of a sudden we got new evidence. My ass. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
to interject, I mean, Reggie Wright Jr. was at one point in Compton PD, but he left in order to form Right Way Security, which then had some off-duty LA police officers. So, and then it's been alleged, it hasn't been proven, but it's been alleged by Keefe that that Reggie had something to do with Biggie's murder in retaliation for Tupac. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a sticky situation, but um
I don't know how
again,
many murderers just be getting away nowadays. I'm sorry. It's not real.
well, outside of Tupac's with Biggie, now I'm gonna say this publicly. This is me, third degree, in my public opinion. Um, I believe that LAPD has some involvement with Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact of the matter was they wanted to try to cover that up. Not necessarily, it wasn't necessarily them doing anything to take him out per se. It was because some of his off-duty people, some of their off-duty people, I think may have played a part in it. And of course you had Rampart, and one of the dudes who was involved in Rampart was allegedly involved with that. So it would have made them look bad. Biggie's mom had I forget, had like a $10 million lawsuit, or I forget however many million lawsuit against LAPD for their involvement. There was some information that had been hidden, that had been locked away. But Greg Kading, I believe, was brought on because there was a detective by the name of Russell Poole who was making a good leeway on the investigation. He got called crazy, all this other stuff. They pulled him off of that. Greg Kading gets put on this case, and I think Greg Kading was just put on the case to prove that LAPD had no involvement to avoid that lawsuit. And that's
Well,
just my opinion on that.
well, if one can be true, the other can't be too. You know what I'm saying? That's
Well,
how I look at that.
I'm
And the
a
reason why I say that is because, quite frankly, it's easier to nullify the story with Tupac because of his outright thug. You know what I mean? The outright thug image. You know what I'm saying? You can believe that story that, oh, okay, yeah, he beat up a dude and then, some random dudes just came back, shot him up. Looks very believable because he's a thug. Same thing with Nipsey. He's a gangster. He's a thug. There's no reason for us to look any further than this is just a random act of thug violence. With Biggie, it's a little bit harder to explain because Biggie was never on that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? He was just a dope ass rapper, and he got to beef with some other rappers, but he was never on no rah kill type energy. You know what
Biggie, in my opinion, was collateral damage. That
I'm
hit that night was not meant for Biggie, and that's just
saying?
my personal belief. I believe it was meant for Puffy. And the way that you hear, I'm gonna see if I can try to reach out to Gene Deal. You know, what I'm saying Gene Deal was Puffy's bodyguard that night. He was there the night that Biggie passed away. But uh, Gene Deal was in the car with Puffy. He told the driver he got word. He said, "Look, they're coming to get us tonight." So so he was already on edge and whatever. So he already had a feeling. So as soon as they were leaving the Peterson Auditorium or Automotive Museum, he told his driver, he said, "Look, the next 3 lights is run the red lights. I don't care, just run them, run them, run them." So the driver did as what Gene Deal said. This is all alleged from Gene Deal. So the driver actually ran the red light. Biggie's car was right behind Puffy, stopped at the red light, and that's when Biggie got caught up.
Mm.
So I believe that was for Puff. My personal belief. I think it was a tit for tat. I believe that because it's been alleged again. It's alleged that Puffy had some ties to Southside Crips. Biggie, Keefe D allegedly was there that night that Biggie died, which is why the police were investigating him. He went up to Puffy, like, "Hey, are y'all good tonight?" Puffy's like, "Yeah, we're good." Whatever he said, "What's up to Big?" Whatever. I think Big was even seen in the hood smoking weed or getting weed from them at some point. So there was been some type of connection between Puffy and Southside, which is why they're trying to make that distinction. But
Okay.
I truly believe that it was a tit for tat. Like, hey, you shot at me and Pac, I'm coming at you, because certain people out here got certain connections, and
And I'm thinking both them checks came out the same account. That's what I'm thinking.
now Suge didn't have anything to do with Pac.
No, I'm talking about the $1 million checks that was getting passed around. I think both of them came from the same account, allegedly.
Allegedly, huh? Well,
Yeah,
here's the thing. Here's
it's
what I was
not
getting ready to give you some credence to what you're
coincidental.
saying. A little backstory with Tupac. His parents, his mom, were
Mhm.
Black Panthers. You know, what I'm saying his dad, his step pops was a what is it? Black Liberation Army. You know, what I'm saying he was part of
Black
the
liberation.
BLA.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like he was on the run. He was literally literally on the run. His godmom, aunt, whatever you want to call her, Asada Shakur, she's still a fugitive today in Cuba. So I mean, at the Shakurs,
she's a revolutionary. She ain't no fugitive.
well, in the eyes of America, you know what I mean. I'm speaking in the verbiage. You know what I mean. Come on now.
And
She's a revolutionary. As a matter of fact, I'll go on record to say she was framed. They were definitely framing a lot of the Panthers and doing a lot of stuff. And so
absolutely.
so she's living in what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Cuba. Cuba's looking out for right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking out for the proper word I want to say. They can't touch her,
Yeah,
essentially.
no extradition. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no extradition. You can't touch her. So
Mhm.
I guess the word is exile. She's living in exile in Cuba. But yeah, the Cuban government, even after Fidel Castro made it a point to say, no, you cannot touch her. Fidel Castro like, you can't touch her. So
Right.
I mean, so yeah, so the Shakur name has not been, especially when it comes to law and local authorities. But I think in this case right here, yeah, I think and then on top of that, Tupac shot two off-duty police officers in Atlanta. So he was definitely not on the police's favorite to-do list. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is why I think that there was some negligence in solving his murder. But then they were trying to say that hey, there was nobody cooperating and none of that. So that's the one thing I will give Greg Kading. He at least was trying. They believe they found the murder weapon, they found the bullet, the ballistics, but then it kept getting muddied for whatever reason. And I think on some part it was Vegas. But if Vegas is saying that they couldn't necessarily do anything because Keefe didn't live there, then hey. But I think at this point, man, whoever it was got tired of them talking trash about him. And this dude was over here essentially bragging, like, hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And it finally caught up to him because they pulled up on his funky ass.
Said, Vegas said they couldn't do nothing because Keefe D didn't live there.
Word. Jurisdiction. Not unless you get a federal thing.
A murder trial. I've seen police departments, U.S. Marshals, not give a damn about none of that shit for less.
You say U.S. Marshals. You think the U.S. Marshals were coming in to aid of Tupac Shakur, especially with just his lineage alone?
Man, like, if we gonna listen to dumb shit, let's just make it all the way dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, our hands are tied. We can't drive 4 hours over to L.A. and just pick him up. You know what I'm saying? What the hell are we talking about, man?
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Why
not to tell my business, but I was involved in a raid from someone that was in my vicinity. But they was all the way from the Midwest. They came and got that boy. And it wasn't even murder. In the Midwest, his stuff was all the way in Wisconsin. They came all the way to Cali to pick this boy up. And it wasn't murder. They came kicking in doors.
I hear you on that one.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear that, oh, our hands are tied because he don't live over here. So I guess.
So why do you think Vegas PD dragged their feet?
Man, I know why. Shit, they know why. I know why. It's Tupac. That's why. It's Tupac. Oh well. You know what I mean? He shot police. He's been on the FBI watch list since a teenager. You know what I'm saying? His family is revolutionaries. His godmom is wanted, and you know we can't get her. At least we got one. You know what I'm saying? Stepfather's locked up. Mama, you know what I mean?
They did Mutulu Shakur like crazy, man. Like he had cancer, and they finally let him go because he had what they say he had 6 months to live. I think he lived for almost up to a year after that. But the time that he was actually supposed to get out a long time ago. He was only supposed to do I think at least 30 of that 60-year sentence, and they just for whatever kept denying him until they heard that he was gonna die, and they're like, okay, cool, you can go now. But they did him crazy, you know what I'm saying? So I'm with you on that. I don't put anything past the U.S. government, you know what I'm saying, or police or whatever, you know what I'm saying. But I think in this case, it was a tell, or I'm trying to use my words carefully, but I can only be me. It was essentially Kanigas helping these motherfuckers do the job that they wanted them to do. Almost in the same way of Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's create some dissension.
All of us.
Let's create some dissension amongst this group. Let's pit Elijah Muhammad against Malcolm. Let's just create these rumors. COINTELPRO, which Tupac was well aware of, did dirty tricks and tactics like this. You know what I'm saying? And so but I think even in that movie, even though that movie was corny, All Eyes on Me, you know what I'm saying? It was essentially they will give you the tools, they will give you the things that you need in order for you to destroy yourself. And so I think in this aspect, you know what I'm saying, Keefe D and them essentially did the government a solid by taking out a voice that was here to unite. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about creating a political party, doing this and doing that. He was starting to mature, you know what I'm saying? And he was getting ready to start being on his political stuff. And I don't think that they were ready for that because they already seen that the power that this man had, where he could just say F this dude, a record label, and essentially turn it into a whole coastal type of problem. But then he was turning around trying to make that coastal thing unite Imagine what he would have did if he could have had everybody united and doing this and talking about changing communities. He was starting to do a lot of groundwork in LA and building up a whole lot of stuff, especially when it involved the youth. You know what I'm saying? Like he was starting to mature and they took this dude out.
So third, how many times are we gonna attribute these things to random acts of niggas?
It was,
They're never
dude,
random, sir.
I'm
There's a
sorry.
reason why the man on this screen right here has been running around for the past 25 years doing very large podcast, damn near NBC, Fox News type interviews. You know what I'm saying? For about the past 10 of them, and just been roaming around free with some made up, bullshit ass deal that lets you say that, hey, I was there for the murder. This is how it happened, and nobody ever showed up to say anything until it got so far beyond it. So it's like, bro, now you starting to make us look bad. Like we can't keep letting you do all this because then people gonna be looking at us because we said we can't drive 4 hours to LA to come pick you up. But you done been to Vegas, you done been to New York, you done been all these places doing these damn interviews, talking about how you murdered or were involved in it or witnessed it or whatever the case may be. You can't keep doing that because now you got us looking bad. I don't believe in random acts of niggas very often. There are some, but when it comes to large situations like this, and you just ran down the mindset of what Tupac was headed towards, sounds pretty similar to the mindset of what Nipsey Hussle was headed for. Sounds pretty similar to the mindset of what Marcus Garvey was headed for. Sounds pretty similar to the mindset of what so many other black revolutionaries, Fred Hamptons, and all of those were headed for. And somehow random acts of niggas always kills them, and we look at us and say, black people, we got to do better.
Yeah, man. The thing is with this, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I don't necessarily agree at the same time either. And with this one, it's a little sticky. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're talking in the sense of Malcolm X, that was definitely calculated. You know what I'm saying? They definitely because the three men, the two of the men weren't even there that day that that he was assassinated. There was five people who were involved in his assassination, and only one of them got caught, and the rest were able to live their lives and grow old, have grand and die naturally. And and the guy who was involved in it pretty much said, "Hey, these two who you guys got locked up didn't have anything to do with it." He named the people who were involved, and they didn't do anything because again there was some involvement, and that I believe again allegedly because we don't know, but we know there was allegedly with the U.S. government. Now, fast forward with Tupac, you know what I'm saying? Were there some infiltrations? Yes. Yes, 100%. I definitely believe that they had undercovers and people working for the FBI or informants within the death row camp because it was alleged that Suge was, involved with street activity and drugs and all this other stuff. So I definitely believe there were some informants
Absolutely.
involved in that. So I'm not negating that. Uh, the circumstances of it, because again, you and I are both from California. So if I seen you, and especially when we know gang culture, so we just know it. We just know it. It's been around us. But if you see somebody who you got beef with, especially this all happened because allegedly Orlando Anderson tried to snatch a death row chain because allegedly there's a bounty on him that Diddy had put out. There was a $60,000 bounty for these death row chains, and so they were snatching them. And this is all stemming from because Suge had took a picture and was messing around with Puffy's baby mama and took a picture with his son. You know what I'm saying? So it was getting deep. You know what I'm saying? Pause to Suge. You know what I mean? But it was getting deep. So, there was an altercation that happened, you know what I'm saying? And then this same dude just happens to be in Vegas. And then, dude says, hey, there goes homeboy right there. Tupac takes off and he swings on him and knocks him down. And then the rest bum rush and jump him. So, with that being said, if this were you in this situation, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know some of the characters in Cali. You know what I'm saying? You've been to LA. You know what I'm saying? You've been to the Dago. You know how some of these cats are.
Mhm.
You and I
I
both know.
lived out there for a few years, but one thing I do know, third, is I don't believe in randomlies, right? I don't believe in somehows. I don't believe um, in scenarios where I'm somewhere and somebody who I have beef with just randomly shows up. I look at the people around me when people randomly show up.
Right.
That
But
means
this is
somebody around me knew that this individual was going to be here or told them that I was going to be here. Because there's no randomly when you in that lifestyle. You don't randomly end up in the enemy hood. You know what I'm saying? That's never random.
no doubt. But they were in Vegas. So again, Vegas
You
is
know, I,
fight night, Mike Tyson, you know what I mean? So it's not necessarily like it's
so
random, but it's not necessarily.
the nigga that
Go
got
ahead.
his snatch chains to get some money is that fight night.
You said what?
Sir, I got money and I ain't go to fight night. The nigga that's
as
out there snatch
as
death row
Keefe
chains
D
is going
said,
snatch.
This is Keefe D's words. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we ballers out here. We go to fight. We go to Mike Tyson fights all the time. We go, it's not nothing new for us. We pull up, we fresh, we dress, no. We got bottles, we got girls. This is Keefe D. So I'm not
The
making
Sherm
this up.
head.
This is this is
The,
Keefe D.
the Sherm head. The one that got caught with all the Sherm. Oh, okay.
PCP. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, the Sherm head.
PCP Keefe. Yeah, this is
People
Keefe.
wasn't doing PCP like that in the 90s.
So
Unless you was doing it.
no,
You didn't
definitely
just have
not in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? I think
yeah,
he
you
got
just
caught with
didn't
that
have
in the
PCP on you
he
just to
got
have
caught with
PCP.
that. He got caught with that in the 2000s, I believe. But here,
Exactly. Who's
whoa,
smoking
whoa,
PCP third?
whoa, here, you want to know something else too? So this 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 dude actually went to Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is something that came out in the trial. He actually went to Las Vegas and he confessed to a Las Vegas PD. He gave him essentially the same story. This is like prior before, we knew anything. And again, it just didn't. So, yeah, I mean, there's some credence to what you're saying as far as Vegas PD. They're probably, hey, this is Shakur, but at the same time, I mean, hey, I don't know.
Or there could be something on that man file that says, "Hey, bro, don't open that." Yeah, you know what I mean. There could be a tap on the shoulder when that name pops up in the system. Hey, man, go ahead and take a lunch break. We got this one.
I can see that. I can see that.
Okay.
I can give you that. Now, the problem is because this case has not been solved for damn near over 30 some years. There's been nothing but conspiracy theories that have came out. People are saying, "Well, Tupac's not really dead. He's with Elvis," or "I seen him last week," or "No, it was this that did it. It was the government. It was Puffy. It was Suge. It was Reggie Wright. It was Snoop." Now, the latest thing is that people are trying to push narrative. Suge's trying to push the narrative that Snoop has something to do with that. No, you know what I mean? It's just freaking crazy. And some of these DVDs that then came out, what I'm saying, again, I know the guy. And so I say this all to say, like, one of my people who was actually running that helps me trying to run the Drop Your 3 Cent YouTube, because I can't be everywhere all the time, was tuning in to RJ Bond's live stream. And he asked him some simple questions, and then RJ Bond kind of called him an idiot and said this and that, and again, it's just kind of crazy. But I gotta say, man, like, RJ Bond has been doing. Has a new DVD, Tupac cover up, where he's actually talking about how Keefe D is lying. It's not Keefe. It's Reggie Wright Jr. He's the one behind it. Blah 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 blah. Now, coincidentally, this is the narrative that they're trying to push, or this private investigator that Keefe D's lawyer finds. Now they're pushing that narrative, and this is why the trial's now been delayed to February 2026.
Oh, so the lawyer's going off a random DVD that nobody else seen.
That's what I'm thinking, because again,
the
the lies always sound more entertaining than the truth. Now you're trying to pretty much say you want to convince. Now all this is doing is just trying to cause some reasonable doubt. Like Keefe saying that he now wasn't there, even though he was on BET. He has a book, so it's in black and white. He's on all these podcasts, so the podcasts are not going away. We've seen everything he's talked about, the breakdancing. Now they want us to believe that Keefe D was not there. Now they want to try to make us believe that Reggie Wright Jr. has something to do with it and that they were cool. Or I don't know how this is going to play
Who was
out, but
they? Who was they?
this nigga and his lawyer.
Or is it this nigga, his lawyer, the prosecution, and the judge? Because
No.
just as simply as we put this together, that there's all these interviews and documentation of this man speaking in the same regard. You don't think the prosecution could use that? That you already been free for 30 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? We've been watching you for 15 of them talk. That we're not delaying shit. You know what I'm saying? We're here
so
now.
the dude who I talked to who knew Tupac, and knew him really well, he said in his personal belief that, or he just, because he said it, he said, what did Suge or what did Reggie Wright have to gain by having Tupac or having Tupac killed? Because at the end of the day, Suge did not get Tupac's publishing, number one. Number two, saying like they were already going to get the Machiavelli album. So Suge was already making money off of Tupac, So I truly do believe that Suge had love for Tupac. I don't believe that Suge had anything to do with Tupac. For Reggie Wright, I don't think that Reggie Wright was capable of doing this because at that time, him and Suge Knight were friends. There was no beef on that part. I just think that it was negligence. He may have been a little pissy, and mad at Tupac. And so, well, I'm not putting my security on you. That may have been true. We don't know. But I don't necessarily think that he played a part and say, hey, I'm going to pay this person. You come pull up and shoot him. And this is what some of these DVDs have alleged, saying that has happened.
Well,
I just don't believe it.
I'm not too intelligent. But I will say, if I plan to get somebody shot, I'm probably not going to be sitting in the car with them.
Word.
Just saying. Now, I'm not leaving it up to, some random street thugs who I've never seen at the shooting range, shooting at a car with me sitting right next to the person they shooting at. That's a little high probability of me getting shot. So that plan is probably not going to work for me. So in that regards, I never thought Suge really did it just for that very simple reason. I never would devise up a plan where hey, we're going to be riding down the street and y'all come shoot up the car. Exactly. No, because I'm going to be in the car, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But wait till you go to the bathroom or something. You know what I mean? Or wait till I drop him off at his house and you shoot him in his driveway. I would never think of a plan to where you shoot at us and we both sit next to each other in a vehicle. So I've never thought Suge for that reason. For that very reason, I don't care how well you plan that out. Bulletproof vest, ballistic armor, helmet, all that shit. I'm still not taking that chance. But I also do not believe this man. And I don't believe that the judge believes this shit that's coming out or the prosecution. You know what I'm saying? The prosecutor, if we're delaying this again, that means the prosecutor is doing a horrible fucking job. Horrible.
So the prosecutor did not object. Now here's what the perspective that the dude that I know who knows Tupac's associate told me. He said Keefe is essentially trying to say whatever he can say to keep himself in county because he knows he's going to prison. So even when Reggie Wright brought this up, he said, the thing is, he's going to want to stay in county because he does not want to go to prison. So he's going to definitely figure out ways to how to delay this. But if you knew that you were innocent and that you actually had a case and that you're going to be free, you don't want to delay this trial. You want it to hurry up as quick as possible. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you're delaying it for another year only means that Keefe is going to be sitting in county jail for a whole nother year until he goes to trial to maybe go to prison. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, he got his ass beat a couple of times by some inmates in there. Number one. Number two, you know what I'm saying? He does not want to see prison because I'm pretty sure that there's some Tupac heads up in there. They're just chomping at the bits to wait to get this cat. You know what I mean? But he essentially put himself there.
County ain't that bad, man. He'll be all right. You know, he get his 3 hots in the cot. But what I'm saying is, third, that these prosecutors have to be fucking idiots. That's what I'm saying. They're
Right.
either fucking idiots, which I doubt they are, because you have to go to school for a very long time and be very well at winning cases to become a prosecutor. To all of a sudden, the one time that you're supposed to object, you say, nah, maybe not this time. That you don't become the prosecutor. Prosecutors come from the public defender side of trials.
So my personal belief, dog. I was trying to say something before you so eloquently put that because I wholeheartedly I'm gonna back you on that. I agree.
Okay.
But where I was getting at was either that he either loves being in county or he's getting ready to try to make a deal. He's getting ready to start singing like a canary. He's going to try to make some type of deal to get off. That's the only reason you're going to delay this because there's no other reason. So to the RJs out there, this man sat up there and told on his damn self.
Right.
So for you to sit up there and to befriend his son and him talking about, my buddy and a Keefe, why are you keeping tabs on a potential dude that has something to do with Tupac being murdered? You know what I'm saying? If you was a Tupac fan or you had love for Tupac, you're going to wait to see how this plays out. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're standing on your belief and your principle, you are not going to be associated with a potential Tupac murderer. It's fucking insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you in it for? Are you in it for the love of Tupac or are you in it to get justice for Keefe? Because at this point, dude, what fucking justice if this mother is telling on himself? He told. He sang like a canary on more than one occasion.
I don't know who this person is that you're talking to, but I hope they're watching because this is entertaining enough. Whoever this individual is that you were talking to, because they need to hear this. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing where I tried to be that voice of reason, be like, hey, maybe you want to stray away from this, and hey, don't do this. And from the Tupac fan perspective, I'm an artist myself, but take myself out of it. This man single-handedly influenced me when it came to rapping. But I know I know my circle, like the Quezes, like a lot of the dudes I hung out with, a lot of the people I know. Some Tupac's family is on my Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I know people that know Pac. Was real cool with Johnny J, the dude who made All About You, and he All Eyes on Me. He was a producer along with Quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people who knew Pac. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is to this, you over here posing, and as a matter of fact, I heard his sister pretty much go ahead and say that, he died at the hands of gang violence behind some man who was a shot caller. So his sister and them, they are in the belief that Keefe has some type of involvement, whether he passed the gun or he gave the shots. He has some type of involvement. But you're sitting up here putting yourself next or getting yourself into the mix with this dude. It does not make fucking sense. It's bizarre to me. And it's like we're living in an era where people will do anything for likes, views, and clicks and all this other shit. But it's just like at the end of the day, this is some real life shit, man. You know what I'm saying? This dude literally is over here bragging on BET. Now I'm gonna say it again: the Art of Dialogue, Vlad TV, Cam Capone, all these fucking platforms talking about how he was involved in this shit. And you now all of a sudden want us to believe that he didn't have anything to do with it because he was lying just to make some fucking money?
Hey, man.
The bitch wrote the book.
Hey, KPD, when you get your phone time, bro, call in on a Friday, man. We want to hear what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? We want to hear what you got to say, bro. You know what I'm saying? So call in on a Friday and drop your 3 cents. You know what I mean? Because the world wants to know why you lying so much. A lot of this shit ain't adding up to me.
It's not adding up.
I try to stay out of it till the end. The third called me today and said we was doing this. So here I am trying to speak reason into the world of there's something deeper than Keefe D behind this shit. Because if he gonna tell, the only person he can tell on is Diddy. Maybe that's what he holding out on. Everybody else dead or in jail already.
You can blame me. I'll take the blame. Yes, because I'm like, I was sitting here in utter shock when I was waiting for the judge to be like, no, we're going to go ahead and go forth with this. I was waiting for March 17th. I had my popcorn ready because I wanted to see the new evidence. I wanted to see new evidence that they got. Because again, you're not going to get some federal indictment or some grand jury indictment, my fault, in Vegas if they don't have something. So I want to know what they got, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, they got his fucking word. They got it in black and white. They got the transcripts. They got the video. Well, I wish there were 4-point vicinity. I was drinking Hennessy. I seen them breakdance. They got your monkey ass on camera saying that you was involved. Now you want to play Jedi.
He has a governor presidential pardon, you know what I'm saying, to never be tried for this. So
that's what he thought. And you know, and for the most part, I did not like Greg Kading because him and RJ had this beef. Greg Kading leaked RJ's family's business out there, and I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? But I always give credit where credit is due. Greg Kading played this dude like a puppet, and he fell for it. Because at the end of the day, he sat there and made a book. And he let him tell on himself. Greg Kading came out and said, hey, you know, you don't have immunity in Vegas. You know, saying like, you know, especially. So again, and I'm going to say this on camera, and I'm going to play advocate. So Keefe, if and RJ, the ones who are defending this dude, if this dude is lying, let's just say he was lying to make money and he was just doing it for fame, clicks and views like a lot of you motherfuckers are. All right, cool. So the proper agreement that he had entailed that he had to tell the truth. So if he did not tell the truth about what he was involved in, if we're going off the proper agreement, then doesn't that mean that his ass is going to go to jail for the drugs that he was trying to sell? So I guess maybe, you know, saying that the PCP charge to being the ringleader of that, he may get less time than the actual murder for Pac. But I'm just saying, so he told on himself because he wanted to be truthful. Then he not only told the same story not once but twice. I mean, it's in black and white. So what are we really here for?
Man, I would have took the dope charge, man. It ain't that bad. You know what I'm saying? I would have just took the dope charge. You see, we going through 30 years later. You know what I'm saying? You should have just took the dope charge home. You could have got out and did your little biopic about everybody who was dead or whatever, you know what I'm saying, right before you died. But to be going to jail in your 60s for life is wild, sir. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking wild. So, I mean, shouts out to that man, though. You know, if we play the game, I'm still going to, I've never liked grand juries. Grand jury trials never amount to the right verdict for me because we never know what's really going on. Inside there's just a bunch of people coming out saying, hey, this was the decision. It's a whole lot of hidden agreements and backdoor shit. So whenever they say grand jury, I say, oh, man, here we go with the shenanigans because that's exactly what's going to happen. And here we are, shenanigan town.
Here we are. You know what I'm saying? It's turned into a fucking circus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm starting to question the legitimate side of these people. Like, what are you really doing? Is it really about justice, or are you just trying to get $1? You know what I'm saying? Is it about justice for Pac, or do you want $1? And if you're trying to say you want justice for Keefe, for the Keefe apologizers out there, if you really want justice for Keefe, where were you motherfuckers when Trayvon Martin that got smoked? You know, where were y'all when George Floyd got choked out? You know, some of you motherfuckers, and you know who I'm talking to, you know what I'm saying, had a lot to say about the BLM movement and a lot of these unarmed murders that were happening. You had a lot to say about the black folks who didn't have no guns in their hands getting smoked. You know what I'm saying? But all of a sudden now it's justice for Keefe. Shut the fuck up.
You be talking to suspected white supremacists, sir. That's who you be talking to, because that's all that sounds like. You know what I'm saying? None of that adds up, but okay.
But all of a sudden it's justice for Keefe. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, oh, Tupac, I love Tupac. Shut the fuck up. Because again, at the end of the day, if Tupac were here, he would have been one of the first ones on the front line for that. You know what I'm saying? Tupac did not have no gun.
I'm glad we didn't do this on Friday. Hey, we did not need this on the Friday show. You know what I'm saying? We did not need this. Third is on 10, man. Y'all
what did I do?
You on 10 about Pac, man. Usually you have a lot more decorum But I understand. You know what I'm saying? It's free form tonight. You know what I mean?
Bro,
But
here's the ill thing. Now, I don't mean to put my personal shit in this, but again, my older brother, God rest his soul, was murdered.
uh,
You understand what I'm saying? We ain't getting no justice for that shit by alleged quote unquote friend. You know what I'm saying? So we're not getting justice for this shit because there are people in there who refuse to say what they seen, or they change their story up and all this other stuff. But hey, the streets know what happened. You know what I'm saying? We know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But there was no justice for my brother. There's no justice for a lot of these folks out there getting murdered. We know of people who have been quote unquote murdered. You know what I'm saying? We've lost people to these streets. So again, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to put myself in it because, again, like I said it before, I got Pac's father on my timeline. I had one of his sisters. No, I have both his sisters on my timeline. I have friends and associates of Tupac. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, I can only put myself and humanize myself, put myself in these people's shoes and understand what they must feel like when they see this shit right here. And then when you got people standing right next to the alleged quote unquote killer, trying to cause trying to be an agent of chaos to try to cause some type of reasonable doubt. And if there is some reasonable doubt, just let this motherfucker, let the chips fall where they fall. You know what I'm saying? If he did it, then he needs to go to jail. If he didn't do it, then he needs to be free. But by his own admission, the motherfucker was saying he was involved.
Woo! Hey, good stuff, brother.
Stop me where I'm wrong.
I'm not stopping anything, sir. This is your show. I'm a co-host.
Oh, now I'm just this is my show. And this is the
hey, no, because man, because when I have my tangents, I want you to leave me the fuck alone too. That's why I'm letting you get your issue. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm letting you get
Southwest
your
Rider. I'm in Machiavelli. Yeah, I feel you. You saying that for love, yes, this is for Pac. You know what I'm saying? I want to see justice for Pac. You know what I'm saying? Like, in all fairness, he should have shot the fair one. You know what I'm saying? He should have, him and Orlando, if Tupac got scraps and he got whipped, Tupac got his ass whipped. He's still going to put out dope music. You know what I'm saying? If he would have beat Orlando's ass, then, you know what I mean? It still would have been putting out music. They still would have both been here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should have been a fair one. But for you to roll up on this cat unexpectedly, bop, 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 you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, and then on top of that, there was a quote unquote alleged gang war a little bit after that. So again, it was between this set over here and then this set over here. So how can anybody sit up here and align with this cat? Southwest Rider, Reggie Jr., you can tag him. I don't believe he had anything to do with Tupac at all. It doesn't make no sense. He had nothing to gain from Tupac. If let's just say Tupac spit on his Fruit Loops, Tupac may have got at his chick. There was nothing for him to essentially gain from Tupac dying. But at the end of the day, around that time, Suge and Reggie were friends. So you're not gonna go get Tupac with Suge Knight sitting in the car. Again, Suge, whether he says he got shot or he got grazed with glass or whatever, he got hit. Whatever happened to Suge, there was blood gushing from his head. Police have said this, not just Suge, but blood was gushing from this man's head. When he was pulling Tupac out of that car, he was hurt. He was desperate trying to get this dude out. When he found out that Tupac died, they said that it was like a gut punch to his soul. You know what I'm saying? Because he really had love for Tupac. Now, me and Quez, we don't get along. You know what I'm saying? We get along for the most part. I mean, I would say we have disagreements. Me and Quez have disagreements. But at the end of the day, saying they're still my boy. So I could say that all to say is that, if two friends have a spat, like Tupac and Snoop did, whatever, they're going to get over it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to take a couple of days to cool off. They're going to go smoke, get with some girls, whatever. And then next thing you know, it's over with and it's done. You know what I'm saying? You remember why this person is your boy. You remember why you got love for this person. And you know that this person is your brother. Because at the end of the day, you know that this person got your back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know if I were to get into any type of shit, which has happened before, Quez got my back. Vice versa. If he gets in anything, I got his back. And this extends to his children, his wife, his moms. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I got love for somebody, I got love for him. So I can understand the loyalty that Pac had to this people over here. So I don't necessarily think that Reggie had anything to do with Tupac. I'll leave it at that as far as
Yeah,
Reggie.
we looking at him. You know what I'm saying? We looking at the only person who knows for sure that's not wearing a badge, and
Right.
his name is Keefe D.
Well, there's two. There's two people still who are still alive that were involved in that day. Suge Knight, and again, he's muddied up his own story so much we don't know it's true. But he said that Orlando Anderson was not the shooter. But he did not say that Keefe was not the alleged shooter or he was not involved. He didn't say that. You know,
Right.
he so you know what I'm saying, he just said that Orlando himself was not the shooter.
Yeah. Well, he was there. Gotta kind of believe it.
Right. But he did not say that they weren't involved because again, if it was the case of them not being involved, there wouldn't have been no gang war after
Right.
after they got back from Vegas. It would have been a complete different other thing. But there was a gang war. People died behind that. People died. So I don't think necessarily it was Reggie and Tupac. So again, Keefe D had already stated whether Puffy indirectly, and I don't even believe that Puffy directly say, here goes $1,000,000, go take care of that. I think Puffy was in a heat of passion, was like, hey, I'll pay $1,000,000 to you if I can take care of it. And then they acted upon it because at that point he got stomped out. The nephew got stomped. So at this point, it's like, oh, well, let's go ride on them. Bet. Now that you just made it just that much more easier. I think that's essentially what happened. So then when it happened, Puff may have just said, here, the inter guy, the middleman between those two, I think he got the check, but he turned around and he opened up a nightclub allegedly. And this is what it had been. This is all from what's his name, Gene Deal. So if you guys want, go check out Gene Deal, Cooking and Conversations with him. Check him out. He talks about this stuff in great length.
So
Go ahead, Quiz.
Quick question. So you mean to tell me y'all rode out and killed a famous celebrity in hopes of getting $1,000,000 because he beat you up or he beat up your cousin? But y'all didn't ride out and shoot the person that stole $1,000,000? These just the questions I be asking when I hear shit. I'm sorry. It just like we gotta put all of these things into the contextual clues. You know what I mean? So y'all was that gangster. Yeah. Oh, he stopped the homie out. We gotta kill him. You know what I mean? Not he took our $1,000,000 bag, went and bought a nightclub, and we ain't going to nightclub and shoot it up. We ain't do nothing.
Right.
I'm just saying. Y'all think on that. You know what I'm saying?
Food for thought.
Y'all think on that, man.
Food for thought.
Just questions.
Food for thought. I'll give you that. Oh, so and even more so to the fact, right? The same cop that was wearing the wire or was recording him secretly, they flew Keefe out to. It's all alleged. This is within the book Murder Rap, and this is from Keefe's admission too. They flew him out to New York to go secretly record the guy because he was wearing the wire. So they was trying to get him to say some incriminating stuff against Puff and all this other stuff, but the dude knew what time it was. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude had not seen Keefe in over some years, and all of a sudden he shows up at his club in the New York area, and he's like, "Oh, what you doing here?" "Oh, yeah, well, just came to see if you was up with some PCP, but by the way, started talking about some other stuff." I think the dude was smart enough to know, like, hey, I ain't saying shit. And so they didn't have nothing, you know what I'm saying? But they literally wore a wire. He sent him to New York to go wear a wire. I'm saying this all to say, how in the entire funk is this dude now all of a sudden lying? They got proof of this dude going out there to go talk. I mean, but you stand next to this dude like, hey, free Keefe. Shut the fuck up. He's in jail because of his own stupid ass, his own stupidity. Dude is the essential dumbass criminal of the century. Goes out to this stupid fuck because again, like Malcolm X said, you gotta be wearing them cameras. You know what I'm saying? Like These niggas out here like fortune and fame, likes, clicks and views, and I think even Jay-Z said, fame is like worse than heroin. These dudes get addicted to it, and then they can't put it down. He is the epitome of put the foot in the mouth syndrome. He did that. Now he's sitting in county in Vegas awaiting his fate as a 60-year-old dude because he wanted to be drug lord, Compton street legend. He wanted to be the big boss and all this other stuff, saying that, other folks ain't gangster, how he's more gangster. And then look where his gangster ass is now.
Ain't nothing gangster about flying to the other side of the country wearing a wire trying to get somebody locked up. Ain't shit gangster about that. Ain't nothing Compton or gangster about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just speak for the people I know in Compton and from Compton. I don't see any of them catching flights to go tell.
No,
you know I mean?
My people is from Compton. So no, they would not. So I say that all to say. So he made all this up to make money. This is stuff that was been going on before he even put out his book, before he got on platforms. He was already involved with the law enforcement, trying to get people set up. This is before he made money. So you want to play Jedi mind trick to sit up here and say, no, don't believe it now. He was just lying. And you guys to believe your stupid ass conspiracy theories. It's fucking it's ridiculous.
I'm gonna just go ahead and assume that the individuals that you're talking to, third, are also Drake fans, and they believe in that theory as well. And
I mean, when you polish and you garnish bullshit with with the finest garnishments, you dazzle it up, you sprinkle this here, you put this, you put the decorating on it, and you just polish it up and you present it. No matter how you put it out there, you present it to the world, it still smells like bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Drake fans, iPhone users, Keefe D, all the same. They're all the same. That's my synopsis from today's show. I'm gonna go get some sleep though. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
Don't run now. I'm just
free Keefe D. I'm gonna get a shirt. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking. I'm playing, man. Fuck out of here.
It really is stupid. It really is stupid. You know what I'm saying? But this has just been a special edition of Drop Your 3 Cent. I had to come drop my 3 cent. I'm glad my brother came and let me just vent for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'll be more back in my regular self on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Sing Kumbaya and all this stuff. But the one thing about me, if y'all don't know, I just can't stand stupid shit. And then people try to insult my intelligence to make me believe something. You can't. Come on now. That's really, really.
Hey, that's your folks, man. You know what I'm saying? Go get the Party Next Door Drake album. You know what I'm saying? It's out. It's like $3.99. You know what I'm saying? On Apple Music, you can buy the whole CD for $3.
Side note, Drake, I know you can do better than that, man. I didn't like that album. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Had a Rico say on Belly, I didn't like that shit. I didn't like that shit. Got to drop a dime on them niggas like Keefe D did.
Hey, Drake album got he got a buy one get one sale. You know what I'm saying? You can get 2 albums for $10. You know what I'm saying?
Drake, I know you got it in you, man. You gonna a little bit harder, bro. A little bit harder. He hasn't been having a good 2025 as of yet. You know what I'm saying? So there's still hope. There's still the summer, man. You can still come up with a summer bop. Just leave Kendrick's name out your mouth, like Will told Chris Rock to do. Leave his name out your mouth and just go about your business and make a bop. You got it.
Hey, for all you rappers out there, just know it's hard to make an album and go to court at the same time. So you gotta pick one. Just know that. It's a lot of work.
True. That's very true. Very true.
A lot of work. You know what I mean?
Lot of work. Lot of work. But with that being said, this has just been a special edition of Drop Your 3 Cent. We're going to go back to our regular programming on Friday. We're going to talk about discovering your roots. What you laughing at, bro?
Hey man, I'm just when you start to get tired, you get a little delirious, but it's all
Nah,
good.
man. Nah, man. I'm gonna fly out there wearing the wire. You have to see me. You have to see me.
Hey man, hey, you can come over here. You ain't gonna hear nothing but the kids talking, and you know what I'm saying. Ain't shit going on over here, baby. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing nothing, nothing.
I'm gonna tell you I did something, and then come around Friday, I'm gonna tell you that I didn't do it at all.
And
That's the Keefe.
I'm
Now I'm gonna sell it to
and I'm
everybody, and their gullible asses are gonna chew it up and believe it.
and
Some
I'm gonna look
gullible
at you
asses.
stupid both times. You know what I'm
Just
saying?
like I'm looking at this, like I'm looking at this nigga stupid. And
Yeah,
anybody who anybody else who's saying free Keefe D, I'm looking at you like you stupid as fuck too. You know what I'm saying? Because it just doesn't make no fucking sense. But anyway, that's me.
great show, brother. This was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. You know,
I had a good
you
laugh.
want to see me? My name is Third Degree, King3rd.com, King3RDD@gmail.com. Get at me, however you want to get at me, with all the smoke. I don't give a funk. Funk you and your bald headed mammy if
Oh
that's how
damn!
you feel about it.
Hey, whoa, you went a little Tupac-ish there, didn't you? You know what I'm saying? Relax,
First
brother.
off, F your click. Yeah. Yeah, man. I got that Machiavelli in me. I tell you, I was raised off Machiavelli. I'm sorry.
Oh shit, man.
And Drake told me it's okay to pop out and show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man. It don't make no sense. Keefe D has nobody to blame but himself. He is in jail because of himself. If he just would have shut what we call the fuck up, we would not know. We would still be listening to all these stupid ass conspiracy theories, still trying to piece it together. All you gotta do is just sit right out to the sunset. But since he decided to open up his mouth and spill the beans, and he wanted to be popular gangster, now he's in popular jail and popular. No, I think they may got him PC'd up because they on his ass in jail. In general
Yeah,
population, you know what I mean? I think he
probably
might be PC'd
PC'd
up.
up, man. He too old to be out there on the yard, man. He probably PC'd up, man. You know what I mean? They slide him his food under the door. He go to wreck by himself. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. It's not that bad of a life for a tattletale. You know what I'm saying? You get a room to yourself. You got your little TV probably. Having a good
I
time.
hope that they're feeding them the finest of cheeses. That's
Oh
what all
yeah.
rats eat. But anyway, so with that being said, ratatouille on this motherfucker, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm Third Degree. I don't like
Hey,
rats and rice, you know what I'm saying?
I'm Quiz,
Pesticides like a
man.
motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we
Pesticides
we
like a
ain't
motherfucker.
getting no money off of this show. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm gonna make a shirt. This one's for free.
Yeah, this was free, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm Third Degree. This is Quiz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We will see you
Y'all
guys
have a
on
good one,
Friday
man.
on a whole nother note.
See y'all Friday, Blair. I'm out.